Hello fellow humans! If I sound really gross today, it's because I'm sick, which is probably why I may or may not look gross. I tried, but I'm sick. So, moving on. Happy Saturday, and today I'm actually going to be talking about Wednesday. Wednesday I had some medical tests done. I thought I would share that with you because it was kind of an interesting experience. It's some things you just some things in life you just don't expect. So I had 2 tests done, and one of the tests I had was called an electronystagmography, and the other one was a videonystagmography. But I'm here to tell you about kind of the experience that I went through taking these things for the maybe like 2 of you who happen to stumble across my video because you want to know what's going on with your ears. I'm going to tell you. These 2 tests are known as ENG and VNG tests. I had both of these tests done. I actually had the VNG first. The VNG, what they do is they take infrared goggles, okay, and they stick them on your head. I don't really know how else to explain these things other than it looks like you're half of the Terminator. You've got this giant metal thing that covers you to about right here. Yeah. Anyway, so what they do is they've got a screen on the wall, right? You're supposed to stare at the screen. There's a little dot, right? They're like, stare at this dot. And I'm like, okay, yeah, this is going great. You know, all I gotta do is watch some dots, and there's a little camera inside the goggles that tracks your eye movements, right? To make sure your eyes are functioning. So I had to, just watch this dot, and it's like, okay, dot's gonna move left to right, or, we're gonna flip the screen, and it's gonna go up and down and stuff. And then she's like, okay, so this is where the test gets a little bit harder. And I'm like, oh, alrighty then. And she goes, the dot is gonna go from one corner to the middle, and then go back to the corner and to the middle. And I'm thinking, okay, so this dot's just gonna go like this. It's gonna go here, and it's gonna teleport back, and it's gonna go here, and it's gonna teleport back. No, that is not what happened. There were 6 dots, and they were all moving, and I'm like, dang! I didn't know which one to look at. Anyway, she said I did great. I think she was just trying to make me feel better. So that was a little bit weird. I didn't appreciate that. That was the last test for the whole dot thing. And then after that, I still had these goggles on, and I'm supposed to lay down and then just turn my head. They're like, look to your right. Look to your left. Sit up. Lay back down. And I'm like, okay, so that was weird. And then she's like, and you weren't allowed to close your eyes. You could blink, but if you blink too much, that made it harder for the camera to read your data. So I was sitting there like this. Yeah, that wasn't very comfortable. But anyway, that wasn't the worst part. The worst part, it was actually the ENG test. Unlike the VNG, actually that's not true. They both make you kind of dizzy. So the ENG test, what you do is they take the goggles off and everything, and I'm like, yeah, no more goggles, right? But then they're like, okay, we're gonna stick these earplugs in your ear. And I'm like, okay. And she's talking to me, and I've got earplugs on. I'm like, great, yeah, yeah, totally. No, I could hear her, it was fine. But I have really, really sensitive ears, too. I have extremely sensitive ears. When they did my hearing test, just for giggles, they played some frequencies that were higher than what a human can typically hear, and I heard them, and they hurt my ears, and I didn't appreciate it. So I've got a really awesome spectrum of hearing, and my ears are also really, really sensitive, despite the fact that I play loud music. Yeah! So, yeah, I've got these earplugs in, and she's talking to me, and I'm having a conversation with her. And she's like, okay, so the next thing that's going to happen is I'm going to play some clicking sounds in your ear. And I'm like, okay, clicking sounds. Yeah, cool, I'm thinking something like click, 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 And she said it's going to get progressively louder, and I was like, alright, cool. So I'm thinking it's going to go click, 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 right? That is not what happened, okay? She was like, she turned the stupid thing on, and it sounded like, I don't know if you guys had ever seen that video for the sounds of the sun. Okay, that's what it sounded like, and it was going down in my ear. Okay, And the little things that they put in your ear, it doesn't just sit in your ear like an earbud, it's in your freaking ear canal. Okay? She positions it to go into your ear canal. And then it's like, what the heck? Okay? I mean, I'm gonna link to this video. If you've never seen this video, turn your volume down. You want to, I promise. This is what was happening in my right ear, and then my left ear, and then both ears. And it was, no. Never again. Unless medically necessary. Which it was this time. It's the only reason why I did it. But anyway. That was terrible. I hated it. I've actually forgot a part of the VNG. They take, which wasn't very funny either, maybe I was trying to block that out. So they take this thing of air, right? And it's like a little tube, right? And they stick that in your ear canal. And they're like, okay, we're gonna blow some cold air, or warm air, because they did both, into one of your ears for 45 seconds. So all I'm hearing for 45 seconds is a tornado. Yeah. It also is supposed to make you feel dizzy, by the way. And it's not a normal dizzy sensation. It felt like half of my body was sliding upwards and the other half was stationary. And to be honest with you, the feel of being mentally ripped in half is not pleasant. Don't stick air in your ears for fun. It's not a promise. It's not the new way to get high. The best way to get high is just eat a bunch of sugar and then spin around and you're fine. Don't try to stick weird junk in your ear. So yeah, those were the tests, and that was my experience with them. So if you're having either of those, rest assured it's not fun, but it will not hurt you. You may feel like you're going to lose your hearing briefly, but it does come back. With all that aside, it's now time for our fun fact of the day, and this one's a little sad, honestly. They say bad things come in threes. This is the third time I've dove into old meanings behind English words. And today I'm gonna bring you one that's probably gonna hit a little bit closer to home than you want it to. When somebody says teen, they are typically talking about a teenager. A teenager is somebody who's in their teen years. And a lot of us think that teen years is because, 13, 14, 15. But teen in older English actually meant misery. I mean, absolute, utter agony. So when someone's in the olden days, when someone was in their teen years, it could be any age. But it literally meant the age of absolute misery. The times in their life where they are just torn apart emotionally and mentally. And that sounds like a lot of teenagers, honestly. I mean, we have so much crap going on in our lives right now. I mean, admittedly, I'm not gonna be a teenager for much longer. My time is up this year. I'll be waving goodbye to 19 and saying hello to 20. But, it's still hard to think about when you think about all of the we've got mental illness on the rise and ridiculously high rates of anxiety and, kids in general, because the world that we live in today, and, just teen meaning misery. They say that you live up to your name, and that's the name that we've been given. Yeah, it's kind of a heavy fun fact for me anyway to think about, because I'm a volunteer peer counselor. I've worked on hotlines. I've talked to a lot of kids who just, it's horrible. I mean, I learned a lot, and I've been there, so I totally get it. But it's just not a fun place to be. So with that said, here's hoping that your teen years don't live up to their old name, and Here's hoping that you find that ray of sunshine in your life. For all of you. So if you haven't subscribed yet, 2 words. You better. If you want to leave me a little shout out in the comments, or give me any suggestions for topics to delve into for my twice a week fun facts, totally do so. Until next time, I hope you have a fantastic week. And as for your enemies, may the bird of paradise take a large dump on their heads.